Let's start the webinar. Dear faculty members and students, a very good morning to all. I am Philomena Suganti, lecturer, computer engineering, and also the coordinator of this webinar. Welcoming you all with great pleasure for the webinar on artificial intelligence on behalf of Department of Computer Engineering, Murugappa Polytechnic College. I would like to thank our management, principal, and head of department for permitting me to organize this webinar. I am very glad to introduce the elite resource person, Mr.S.Thirukumaran. He is a data analyst in DXC Technology, Philadelphia. I am very proud to say that he is a distinguished alumni of your institution. He completed his diploma in computer engineering in April 2015, and now he is pursuing MS in data science at Drexel University, Philadelphia. I hope all are eagerly waiting for his presentation. Thank you all. Now over to Mr. Thirukumaran.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all. Good morning to all the participants, staffs, and the HODs who have joined in this call. And first of all, thank you for providing me this wonderful opportunity to discuss about one of the effective topic that is currently around this world. So before starting, yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for providing introduction about me. So the first thing is, yes, myself, Thiru. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay. So can someone confirm me whether you guys are able to see my screen?
Yes, can able to see. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so let's start. So yes, as ma'am provided introduction about me. So myself, Thirukumaran, and currently I'm working practicing as in tech intern data analyst in DXC Technology, and also I'm proceeding or pursuing my master's in data science in the Drexel University, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States. So today I'm here to provide a webinar session on artificial intelligence. So before the session starts, so I would request everyone to be a two-way communication. So I want everyone to participate, no matter whether you ask me questions in English or Tamil, so whatever is possible. So I request everyone to ask questions, stop me in middle, or if you're not able to understand the concepts or anything, so I would request you to stop me at any time. So let's start the session. So once again, thank you all. So let's start with the first one. So what is artificial intelligence? So anyone have any idea about what is artificial intelligence? Okay, no worries. So artificial intelligence is nothing but it is a wide ranging branch of computer science concerned with building smart machines capable of performing tasks that typically requires human intelligence. So artificial, it is a term which describes as it is a process of combining science and the maths to build a machine to work as like a machine. So to work as like a humans. It is created artificially, so the term has arisen as artificial, and intelligence is nothing but the intelligence of a human is just implemented on the machines. So how does this term arise? So the history of artificial intelligence. So first thing, in the year 1950, a scientist named Turing. So he just created a paper on artificial intelligence, so stating can machines actually think. Till date, no machine has solved or able to pass this man's test, because actually machines cannot think, They can just manipulate the problem what human gives. So that is the basic one. So only thing that can think is human, which is implemented in the machines. So actually this Turing test is just a word that Alan Turing has created, can machines think. But actually the word artificial intelligence is termed or coined by another scientist called John McCarthy. So the one whom you see at the right hand side is John McCarthy. So he is the one who created the term artificial intelligence in the year 1956, and he is also considered to be the founder of the term artificial intelligence. Okay, so we know what is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is nothing but implementing the ideas or implementing the thoughts that human have to be implemented the same on the machines. That is artificial intelligence. So why do we require artificial intelligence? Because as the day by day the work starts increasing, and as well as the population starts increasing, we need everything to be done very fastly. So humans were capable of doing all works, but not in very fast manner. So they created machines as like humans to perform tasks. So it started from creating a chess playing computer to a self-driving cars. So till date, so some of the robots or some of the things that have been created by humans are autonomous car, where which means it is a driverless car. So it is a driverless car which is created by the humans. So these types of techniques like chess playing computers, artificial self-driving cars are based on deep learning and natural language processing. So I would explain about the deep learning and natural language processing in my future slides. Okay, let us quickly see the timeline. So I said the word nine in the year 1950, a scientist named Turing has created a paper stating whether machines can actually think. So he is the guy who actually termed, who actually created or given an idea about whether the machines can actually think or not. So he has started a mission trick humans into thinking it as like humans, which has intelligence. And in 1955, the scientist named John McCarthy has created or has coined the word artificial intelligence. From there, it slowly started evolving. So in the 1950, Alan Turing has started, or he just created a paper about Alan Turing test, which is nothing but he has just created a question whether machines can think. And in 1955, John McCarthy has created a term for that, which is nothing but can machines can think, is termed into a term called artificial intelligence. From there, they have started evolving, and in the year 1961, they have created a robot to assemble in the to assemble in the assembly line of GM. Next, in 1964, there is another chatbot robot created, Eliza, and from then, in the year 1966, another robot called Shaky. So from 1966 to 1996, they have thought this AI would not be, we will not be able to do much progress in the findings, and there is no much engineers who have concentrated on the artificial intelligence. So they have dropped out the plan till 1996, and again in the 1997, IBM has created a chess playing computer called Deep Blue, which has defeated Gary Kasparov, who is a leading uh, chess player, so who was defeated by an artificial intelligence robot called Deep Blue. So then again it started evolving. So after 1966 to 1996, there was no much progress. After this happened, like the IBM robot has created it, so slowly the artificial intelligence started evolving. So in the year 1998, again MIT introduces a new robot called Kismet. So from there, Sony introduces a robot called Aibo, and then a vacuum cleaner, Roomba. Then from Siri till date, we have an autonomous car called Tesla. So this is the evolution of artificial intelligence. So I think most of us know Siri and Alexa. Like if we are an iPhone user, so probably we might have no Siri as well as Alexa. Siri is nothing but it is like a chatbot who answers our questions. So that is done by a technique called natural language processing. So if we ask a question to Siri, so it just replies answer by either Googling or by the term that is registered in his dictionary. So in the year 2014, Amazon created a sample, again a ditto of Siri, which helps users a better experience. It is also as like a Siri, so where Alexa has multiple languages, have been created with multiple languages to answer customer queries. So till date we have number of robots that perform multiple actions and that are being used for multiple purposes. Okay, so we saw what is artificial intelligence and why do we require artificial intelligence. So how it is really ruling the world, so how it is really happening in the world. So let us quickly watch out a video, so how robots are being used in the supermarkets, how they are being used in different manufacturing techniques. I think hope everyone has understood what the robot has does in the supermarket. So it is a robot which does cleaning, which mops the floor, which controls the trespassers, and which just check the stocks availability. So it just monitors each and everything that is happening in the supermarket, and it helps to reduce the human effort. So where this is what the robots are actually being used for. Okay, so let have you guys come across any AI robots? Okay, so let me give some examples. I think you can also just think of it. So we have train restaurant in Chennai. We have robots serving foods in Chennai. So those are all some of the examples. Those are all some of the examples of the AI. So the AI is present everywhere. It is nothing but something that does automatically refers to the artificial intelligence. So let's start with the introduction. So what is AI capable of doing presently? So it is capable of sensing, it is capable of comprehending, and it is capable of acting. So currently AI is capable of doing only these three things. So what does it sense? Sense is nothing but it provides a vision, like robots can see, robots can talk, and robots even can perform all types of action that humans does. So the next thing is comprehend. Comprehend is nothing but the example for comprehend is Alexa and Siri. So where they just take input from us and they just provide us output with the same language that we speak. So that comes under comprehend, which is natural language processing and the knowledge representation. So finally, act. So where does the algorithms and all the related activities are actually present, which are machine learning and the expert systems. So these are all the things that machines can actually perform externally. So some of the illustrative solutions, some of the internal functions of an artificial robot is virtual agents. Some of the examples, like it is like a chatbot, a customer service. So customer service in terms of like if you enter for a service like in any broadband or any of the customer service, you'll be initially attended by a virtual assistant, which is called chatbot. Then some of the other things are it identify the analytics, some cognitive robots. It also refers for speech analytics, recommendation systems, and finally data visualization. So these are all the things that artificial intelligence actually comprised of. Okay, so let's see in detail. So what are all the techniques that have been adopted, or what are all the algorithms that are being used for this artificial intelligence? So as I stated, in the year 1950, the term artificial intelligence has been found, and it started to increase from 1950 to 1980. So the artificial intelligence was being worked as an artificial intelligence method from 1950 to 1980, and in 1980 they have come up with a new algorithm to just see what machines can actually think and what can machines can actually perform. So they just created a new algorithm called machine learning, which has ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Yes, so each and every robots need to be programmed to perform some specified task. Like it can be to shake his hands, it can be to talk, it can be to view or anything. So in 1980, the term machine learning has been originated, where this technique actually has an ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. So the days continues as the technology also improve. In the year 2010, they have come up with an alternative algorithm or a subset of a machine learning algorithm called deep learning. So deep learning is nothing but an advanced algorithm from machine learning. So all these concepts come inside the artificial learning. So where this deep learning is present inside the machine learning, and the machine learning and deep learning is present inside the artificial intelligence. So let's quickly see what are the definition and how it is actually present. So artificial intelligence. So we all know what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is nothing but it is humans, where humans help create or program, humans program to create a robot to work and to act like a machine, to act like a humans as the robot does. So again, it is nothing but humans program to perform and act as like them, which is implemented and created as robots. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is nothing but to implement the artificial intelligence, they require algorithm to follow. So that is nothing but machine learning. So after as the technology moves forward, so they have come up with a new advanced technology to work with vision, to work with hearing, and all those things. They have created an subset or an improvement in the machine learning algorithm is called deep learning. So deep learning is nothing but it is a subset of machine learning which uses deep artificial neural networks as models and automatically builds a hierarchy of data representation. So we will see deeply what is machine learning and what is machine learning in upcoming slides. Okay, so starting with the machine learning, as I said, it is an algorithm of artificial intelligence. Some of the types of machine learning. So they are supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So what are all the differences and what is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning? So supervised learning is nothing but it is just learning under a human supervision and using labeled data. Consider if you have a set of collection of data where each and every data has its own label. Consider if you take a spoon. So if you take a spoon, you know that it has different shapes. So determining these shapes, you name it as spoon. So the things that have been labeled or implemented or that has put inside the machines by providing the labels is called supervised learning. Unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning is nothing but making the machines to understand like humans. Again, let us take an example as a spoon. So by determining the shape, the machine names it by itself called spoon. It just checks about the features. Okay, what does the spoon actually have? It has a lengthy stand at the back and a bowl at the front attached to it. So that is the exact feature of the spoon. So machine, what this unsupervised learning does is, so it understands the features of an object. Consider take a car. So how does a machine understands that it is a car? So how it understands is, if a car, then it has some features like it has to have 4 doors or 2 doors or 4 wheels and an engine and also 4 seats and a steering. So with these features, it understands by itself is unsupervised learning. So finally, reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is an interactive environment where you do practically work with robots to understand them, like how they actually behave in the current environment. So reinforcement learning is nothing but it is an interactive environment by trial and error method using feedback from its actions and experiences. It is nothing but when you create a program and implement it in the robots, initially everything will not be a successful one. So you will just understand, so what does it initially do? So from there, you will be creating an upgrading program, or you will upgrade your program to for the better solutions. So that is reinforcement learning. So again, let us quickly refresh what is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Supervised is nothing but you're providing each and every content explicitly to the robots. Unsupervised is nothing but by the features that are available for a product, you are making machines to understand the product or an action. And reinforcement is nothing but you are closely working with the trial and error. So that is in reinforcement learning. So some of the different types of machine learning. So machine learning, as I told, like they are classified into supervised. They have been classified into supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced. So supervised is again classified into regression, classification. Unsupervised is again classified into dimensionality and clustering. And reinforcement is again classified into multiple things. So I think most of us know PUBG. So even PUBG is one of the application of an artificial intelligence, which comes under reinforced learning, where you just game an AI where you can talk with others, where you can shoot, where you can talk. So all these comes under reinforced learning, which is under a game AI. So we are not going to go deep about each and every steps. So as this is now flourishing, so deep learning is now upcoming. It is an upcoming technology uh, that is being increased, or that is being commonly used among multiple manufacturing companies or multiple IT companies. Next process. So how does this actually process? So the first step. Okay. So the first step is data set. Data set is nothing but it is a collection of data. It can be any kind of data. So just consider. So you go to a supermarket, you buy some list of grocery items. So it is also considered to be a data set. So from that data set, what we can actually learn, or what we can actually evaluate. So that is the process of evaluation, or the process of compilation is called train ML algorithm. So you just take the data, consider, let me provide you an example. So a person goes and he buys a milk bottle. So if a person buys a milk bottle, it is eventually known that either he will be buying a coffee powder or a tea powder. So we will collect all these informations and we will just process it. So we understand and we come to a conclusion. Okay, so if a person is a milk bottle, then he eventually requires a coffee powder or a tea powder to it. So what we does is, to reduce the human effort, we place each and every items next to it. So if you find, in a supermarket, you can find milk bottle in a rack, which is where you can nearby find a coffee powder or milk powder. So we just create a subset, or we just create a combination of all these things, and we come to one conclusion, and we will create an algorithm for it to implement in the daily life. So each and everything that we do in our life has some purpose, and all the things comes under a data set. So data set is nothing but a collection of a data, so where you actually process it, where you actually create models to gain some result which can be done, or which can be automated. So first step is, you will be collecting a data set and you will train it. So there are multiple algorithms, like as I shown here. So there are multiple algorithms like population growth predictions, estimating life expectancy, market forecasting,
Kumaran,
weather
shall I
forecasting.
interrupt you? Thirukumaran?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes.
One of our participants asking for what is learning, and then also reinforced learning.
Okay.
Uh,
Reinforced learning. Sure.
yeah.
So reinforced learning is basically type of machine learning. So what we do in what reinforced learning actually does is, it just creates, or it is a process of learning.
Students, don't scribble on the screen. Behave properly. Clear the screen, ma.
That's okay. So reinforced learning is nothing but, it is a process of learning, and learning in an interactive environment. So where you will be having machines and robots. So it you will just implement some actions. So you will just program it, and that programming will actually make the robots to understand and act accordingly. So that is reinforcement learning. So it is based on the consequences of earlier action, next action is decided. It is nothing but, there will be some automatically, there is some already predefined features or predefined past actions that have been already created. With that data, you will be able to, you will be training that data, and you will implement it in the machines to make it process for the future works. So that is nothing but reinforced learning. So as I said, given an example of a milk bottle and a coffee powder. So you must have bought milk bottle and a coffee powder in past. So we will collect the data and implement it to the machine to exactly understand what will be the future depends on. So that is what the reinforced learning is. I think that clarifies your doubt, Shanti Felix. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Let me quickly try cleaning the screen. Share my screen. I think hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So machine language process, as we told, like we will be collecting some set of instructions. We will apply some algorithm and we will create a model, or we will predict a model to evaluate, which we will evaluate and deploy it for the future use. So let's just think about what is the difference between the machine learning and the deep learning. So I'll just explain you about the deep learning in the upcoming slides. So I'll just tell why they have moved from machine learning to deep learning. So just consider a car. We will just input a car image into a process, or into one, we will just process it and you will put it inside an algorithm. So where what does machine learning actually does, it just separates into two processes. So one is feature extraction and another one is classification. In the feature extraction, what does it does is it just takes each and every feature, so where we have already defined it. So if it is a car, then it has to have four wheels, four doors, and there must be some mirrors and all those things. So it just divides the features of the car, and then it just puts into a classification. Here the classification is nothing but it just defines, okay, so we have identified that it is a car, we have extracted the features. So with that features, it just checks with the algorithm, okay, so if it is a car, then it has to have four wheels and four doors. So finally it comes to a conclusion. Okay, so it comes to a conclusion. It says that it is a car. But in deep learning, this feature extraction and the classification are done in a similar stage, by means like the image will be divided into multiple parts or multiple pixels, and it just try to understand by itself by the algorithm that is already defined, and finally provides the input. So the main difference between the machine learning and the deep learning is the accuracy in the machine learning will be more when compared to the deep learning. But you can ask a question like, why then they went to deep learning? So the process or the time that is being taken in the deep learning is very less. So it just provides the output very quickly, and it also provides more or less an equivalent result to the machine learning. So that is the basic difference about the machine learning and the deep learning. So let's see what are all some of the problems that are solved by the machine learning. So machine learning, some of the process or the manual data entry. So detecting spam. So manual data entry is nothing but just consider you buy an item. So in the earlier days, they used to write the data. They used to write what the item is exactly, and they have to provide you the description about it. But nowadays there is an information. There is a technique called barcode scanner. It just scans the barcode and it just interprets the result that is present in the barcode, and it just inputs the data. So that is manual data entry. And the next one is detecting spam. So when you get a spam email, so it automatically goes into the spam. So it is also one of the machine learning process. Product recommendation. So it also recommends the products. Medical diagnosis, customer segmentation and lifetime value prediction, financial analysis, predictive maintenance, and image recognition. So product recommendation is nothing but, so when you, I think most of them will be using Netflix. So if you open a Netflix, it just quickly pops out some images and states like this is being mostly viewed, or this is currently being trended, or this is currently being mostly viewed by the persons in these days. So that is nothing but a product recommendation. So depending upon the views, it depends upon the views, or it depends upon the freshness, relevance, and all those things. It recommends us the product. And medical diagnosis is nothing but, as many of us know, like, let me just quickly see. Mm, I think I can't hear an audio. Okay, let me just check. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, Thirukumaran.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So as I have explained about the product recommendation, so product recommendation is nothing but the feature that is being implemented in the Netflix. Medical diagnosis is nothing but we know that most of the operations or the operating equipments are done you are being created by the artificial intelligence technique. Customer segmentation and lifetime value prediction, it is nothing but an insurance policies or something that is being automatically detected or automatically created. Financial analysis, so example for the financial analysis, like if you have a bank account, like if you have a net banking account for any HDFC or ICICI or anything, so if you just open it, there will be an option called financial, like it is like a chatbot which helps you in providing the how much you have spent and how much you have saved and all those types of informations, like you can mostly find in Access, ICICI or HDFC bank. Next is predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance and image recognition, like we'll be viewing in the upcoming slides. So some of the applications. So we saw like what are all the machine learning process are being done. So some of the applications that the machine learning are being used for is in social media, transport, financial services, healthcare, e-commerce, and a virtual assistant. So example for the virtual assistants is nothing but a chatbot or an natural language processing agent. Consider Alexa, Siri, Echo Dot. So all these are some of the examples of virtual assistant. Social media is nothing but you have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. So all these are examples of the WhatsApp. All these are example of the social media that are being part of an applications of machine learning. So how does this social media comes in is nothing but you will send a voice note or you will receive a voice note. So all these types of things are comes under the applications of machine learning in the social media. Next is transport. Yes, safety measures like the traffic signals, or there are many automatic traffic signals. It detects like every 15 seconds the signal turns on or turns off, turns on, turns off. So all these things are comes under the traffic. And currently the latest technology that has been introduced in the transport is autonomous car. So many of us would have seen, or if not, just you can YouTube some of the videos for Tesla automated cars, like in Dubai and in US. Like many autonomous cars are there. So without drivers, if you just enter into the car and if you say the destination, it will help you in reaching out to the destinations. So financial services are nothing but it provides you financial help, stating like it just keeps the track of all your expenses for a month, and it helps you in reducing like where you have spent more and where you have spent less. And healthcare, so there are many tests that is being done in the healthcare. And finally customer service, so e-commerce. So if you go to an Amazon, now you have an Alexa, so which you can just, if you want a product, you don't need to type it. So if you just say like I need this product, so and so product, the Alexa helps you in typing automatically and searching the products and provides the relevant and fresh records. So these are some of the applications of the machine learning. So I think now we have seen what is machine learning and some of the applications of machine learning and where the machine language have been exactly used. So now let us come to deep learning. So I have told you the main reason why they have come from, why they are currently using deep learning instead of machine learning. So there is no big difference. These two concepts or these two algorithms comes inside the artificial intelligence. The main difference is machine learning, after some after some point of time, the saturation of the result will be very less. So the result, your prediction result will be very less and it will not be able to manage it. So but in deep learning, so you will be able to receive at most result, like almost 99.9% of the result will be accurate, and it will be helpful for the further process. So let's start with deep learning. So what is deep learning? So it is also a branch of machine learning. As I told, it is a subset of machine learning that uses data loads and loads of data. It is not used for a little amount of data. It has been used for large amount of data to teach computers how to do things only humans were capable of before. So the main concept of artificial intelligence is nothing but we are creating machines that will act like a human. us. So we program it, we input the computer science, we input mathematical calculation on all those manipulations to create a robot that acts exactly as like humans. So that is same as deep learning. So what does it do? So how do the machine solve the problems of the perceptron? So perceptron is nothing but the pixels or the recognition of a voice or an image or any type of data from which we can retrieve the result. So you see about the deep learning. So in 1958, Frank Rosenblatt creates a perceptron, an algorithm for pattern recognition. So pattern recognition is nothing but, so you have an image, we will break down into pixels, and we will create a one final product, or finally we will create or end up with a result identifying what exactly the product is. So that is pattern recognition. So recognizing the pattern by dividing them into pixels to finally create a product. So in 1989, a scientists were able to create an algorithm that uses deep neural networks. So neural networks and pattern recognition will be coming in the next slide. And in 2000, the term deep learning begins to gain popularity after a paper called Geoffrey Hinton. And in 2012, artificial pattern recognition algorithms achieve human level performance on certain tasks. So this is the history about the deep learning. So next is principle. So what principle it actually does it? So let me compare how the deep learning and the human brain would actually work. So deep learning is based on the concept of artificial neural networks. So which is a very powerful term which is being used in the deep learning. So it is a process of concept of using artificial neural networks or computational systems that mimic the way the human brain functions. Okay. So the left hand side that you see, that is what the deep learning actually performs, and the right hand side is the one how the human brains actually performs. So consider an image. You take an image of a dog or a cat. You break down into, what you done is, first thing is you break down into pixels. These pixels, each and every pixels will provide you or will explain you about one particular information. Consider if you take a face, so you break down into features. So one pixel will tell you what it is. It is an eye. So other feature will tell you that it is a nose. Other feature will tell that is an eyebrow, and other feature will tell you it is a mouth or teeth and some more information. So this, how it is actually resembles, or it actually acts like human brain. So if, how does human brain actually takes and represents a face? If it is a face, then human brain is fixed that it has to have eyes, face, and all those things. The same way the deep learning is also programmed to, or it is created to. So it just create, first it takes the image and it breaks down into pixels and identify the features. Finally it creates an image. So it creates multiple features or multiple tokens of the image, and finally comes to a conclusion, okay, it is a face. So that is what we have actually seen in the previous slides of this. So in the machine learning, so the feature extraction and the classification are done separately, but in the deep learning, the feature extraction and the classifications are done together, which reduces the task, or which reduces the time that has been taken for this. So some of the technologies, so as I said, it is completely based on the neural networks. Neural network is nothing but, it is a part of dividing your picture into multiple features or into multiple pixels to identify a solution. So some of the technologies are present in the deep learning is convolution neural network. So convolution neural network is explicitly spatial. So there is no much difference between multiple technologies. There are very minute difference. So the first thing is convolution neural network. So convolution neural network exploit spatially local correlation by enforcing a social connectivity patterns between the neurons of adjacent layers. It is nothing but, so just take this as an example. So first thing is, it takes an image and it just creates a pattern of its own. So after creating a pattern of its own, so then it identify the different features among them. So the first pattern, it just recognizes as an eyebrow, and the second pattern, it recognizes as an eyelashes and all those things, and finally it recognizes as a features. So it from the multiple features, it just combine into one feature. Like first thing is eye, then an ear, then a nose, and then a mouth. So it just takes different features and combines into one feature to form a face. So that is what explained in the layer ml m minus l. So it takes multiple features and divides into one. Let me quickly see. There is a chat. Okay. That is convolution neural network, and the next one is recurrent neural network. So recurrent neural network is nothing but it is a recurrent because they perform the same task for every element of a sequence, with the output being depend on the previous computations. So it is as same as like a reinforced learning. So where you have some collection of data that is present already, it extracts the features from it and it provides the result. So in this recurrent neural network, it used to process the same steps again and again to provide an exact prediction. So that is the recurrent neural network. And finally, long short term memory. So long short term memory is nothing but it is a very deep learning task that requires memories of events that happened thousands or millions of discrete time steps ago. So LSTM works even when there are long delays, and it can handle signals that have mix of low and high frequency components. So it just talks about the memory of a robot, how the frequency signals, if consider. So when it comes to a frequency signals, like when you input a voice, like if you ask what is the weather today, so when you just when you ask a question about it, so it just takes the question inside and it just thinks about, it just divides the pattern. So what is weather today, so it just divides the pattern question into patterns, and it just completely finds a sentence, completely finds a meaning for the question, and then it just takes into, if it is asking for a weather, then it goes for the weather directory or weather index and checks the current present weather, and it reflects the results. So that is what actually happening in the machines in very million milliseconds of time. So it just takes an input and process it. So it is nothing but it is an input gate where it takes inputs and it processes inside the gate, and finally it provides an output. So that is long short term memory. So we no need to go much deeper in the deep learning technologies. So if we know what is machine learning and deep learning, so that would be more than enough. That would work. So let us now come to a real time example. How does it works actually? So just consider. So if it is a human, we can easily read that the term is 50414192. But how does the machines actually learn? So they just humans write numbers in multiple formats. Like these are all the formats that the human writes. So the machine has to understand and recognize in such a pattern. Like just consider, so we can also think that this as 7 and this as also 7. So this is also a 7 pattern, this is also a 7 pattern, and this is also a 7 pattern. So there are multiple combinations. So this is what the deep learning actually does. It takes multiple combinations or multiple features, and it just interprets itself, and finally comes to a conclusion that the algorithm that is already present, and finally provides us the result that actually the number is 7. So this is the working. The idea of neural network is to develop a system which can learn from these large training examples. So we will write, as I told, some of the example for 7. This is an example for 1. We will write 1 in this feature, this way, and then this way. We will write it in this way, and we will also write it in this way. So it just takes multiple combinations of the numbers or multiple combinations of the features, and it just manipulates or apply an algorithm and finally come to one conclusion. So each neuron assigns a weighting to its input. So if this is a 1, it creates an input weight to it, and if this is also 1, so it is also inputs a weight to it 1. So finally it just collects all the ones and just checks which one has higher value. So depending upon the weightage of the result, it provides us the exact result what we exactly need. So this is how the neural network works. So it is nothing but it just collects features of it collects different features and evaluates inside it by using an algorithm to finally provide a good result. Some of the advantages of deep learning are it does feature extraction. No need for engineering features. It is nothing but it doesn't require any engineering features. It does feature extraction and classification combined to itself. And some of the others are moving towards raw features. Raw features is nothing but it is not mandatory that a human has to write in such a way that it has to be understood by the machines. Human can write in any way. So the machines accepts it, manipulates it, and finally creates provides a weightage to each and every feature, and finally checks which feature has more weightage, and it provides the result. So better optimization, yes, it has better optimization. A new level of noise robustness. Noise robustness is nothing but it removes the unwanted features or unwanted data that is present around it. Multitasking and transfer learning, and finally better architectures. So the main reason that we have moved from machine learning to deep learning is it has better optimization process, and it is a multitask and transfer learning, and finally a better architecture function. Some of the following. Okay, so natural language processing is nothing but, so let me start with an example. So question, the very simple thing is, the simple example for natural language processing is Siri. So we all have an iPhone. If not an iPhone, so we all have Windows, where we have a virtual assistant called Cortana. So you just input your, instead of typing your question, or instead of typing in words, you just talk to it. So virtually you just conversate with it by the words that naturally arises from you, and that has been being understood by the machines. It just input, it takes the words that you give to it as an input and provides the result. So that is nothing but the natural language processing. So natural language processing is nothing but, again, it it is also a process, or it is also a technique where collects input data from the humans, from the natural language, and processes it and provides you the output. So I'll show you the examples in the upcoming slides, where what are all the examples of natural language processing that are currently existing. Some of the challenges of deep learning is, deep learning, it cannot operate without large amount of data. So it needs multiple features to finally conclusion, or to provide a results. Because you need a large data set, training time is usually significant. So usually, as it takes multiple inputs or multiple features, so it's some of the time, not for the evaluating purpose, for the predicting purpose. So the time taken for the predicting purpose is high, and the scale of net weights is important for the performance. So consider I have shown you different number of ones, and each number of ones have different weightage. So depending upon the best weightage, it provides the result, and also the weightage sometimes may occur errors, and parameters are hard to interpret. Although there is a progress being made, like we have to identify which parameter or which extra parameter, in terms of which extra feature or which extra thing that helps in improving the performance. And finally, hyperparameter tuning is non-trivial. So we need hyperparameters to define or to process the information that we have. So that is the hyperparameter. And the next thing would be some of the real-time examples. So what deep learning is actually capable of doing. So it can process the black and white image into and colorful image, and it also helps in providing sounds to the silent movies, and it also provides automatic machine translation, object classification and detection in photographs, and automatic handwriting generation. So whenever you write in a handwriting, if you input it to a computer, so it just just inputs the data that is present and it actually provides you the output. And some other real-time applications are automatic text generation, automatic image caption generation, and automatic gameplay. So these are all some of the features of these are all real-time applications of the deep learning. And future scope, so some of the future scope that is being developed is they are planning to search for extraterrestrial life, which means currently we have 8 or 9 planets including Pluto. So they are just checking whether each and every planet or there is some other planet that is currently existing and where the humans can actually live in. So also they are planning to create a virtual space in the present itself, in the laboratory, in the current laboratory that is present, so that the astronauts can learn how what will be the experience of the space is actually about. So there will be no gravity and all those things, so they are planning to create a laboratory for it and to experience to gain a better experience. They are creating a virtual spaceships in the land itself. Some of the other artificial intelligence applications are deep learning. So as I told, deep learning, machine learning, robotics and soft robotics. I could see natural language processing and all those things, virtual assistants. And the next is some of the artificial intelligence, like as I've already told, where are the artificial intelligence are being used. It is used in travel, healthcare, sales, credit and insurance, automation, social media, and the marketing. So these are all the AI use areas currently. So it is very common. So some of the areas are in smart homes management, insurance, production, internet, logistics, in pharmaceutical industries, and all other places. So let us now come to natural language processing. So some of the platforms that are actually using that are presently have available agents are Apple, which are Siri, Google for Google Now, Alexa for Amazon, Cortana, Viv, iMage, Messenger, WhatsApp, Slack. So all these are some of the natural language processing agents that are currently existing. And finally, so let us come to the real world application. So how can we develop an artificial intelligence missions? So yes, all the missions are being programmed, and the program that is most commonly used is Python or Lisp, Prolog, and Java. So Python is really a very strong language that is currently being used to create missions, to create programs that can be used in the robots. So this is a real-time model. So what are all the applications that are required for this is Python, so Google Colab, Algorithmia, MongoDB. So these are all these comprises to form an application that can be inputted or that can be implemented in the robots to function accordingly. So finally, some of the challenges that are currently present is lack of enabling data ecosystem, low intensity of AI research. Yes, there is no more AI research because that is really costly. So inadequate availability of expertise, technology, and research, high resource cost, and low awareness for adopting AI in business process, unclear privacy, security, and ethical regulations, unattractive intellectual property regime to incentive research and adoption of AI. So the main thing is currently we lack inadequate availability of expertise, technology, and research to do AI research. So that is the first thing that is currently existing. So currently they are trying to improve, like when they're trying to provide a result of 100%, currently they were able to provide a result, or they were able to achieve only 5% of result, 5% of the complete result. So finally, so artificial intelligence a devil in disguise. Actually, it is not. So many take it wrongly. Machines are all being created by the humans. So if we handle it with care, so we can surely create good missions for the good useful purposes. Like some of them can be used in military purposes, some of them can be used in manufacturing companies and all those things. So finally, so the low maturity of deep learning and its applications such as large deep neural networks achieve the best results on speech recognition, visual object recognition, and several language related task field warrants extensive future research. Nevertheless, the possibilities of deep learning in future are infinite, ranging from driverless cars, as I told, So currently Tesla is designing or developing a driverless car and being tested to robots exploring the universe, and to what if the upcoming architectures are creative enough. So you're all the architectures, we are all the architectures who are going to create. If we have a very good idea and if we were able to create one artificial robots, then I think it is really will be helpful. So we are the architectures who are in currently in made. So I would recommend everyone to upgrade yourself, learn how much you can, so that it will be really helpful for you in the near future. So thank you. Hope, let me quickly see the questions. Can you tell us about some of the popular algorithms used in AI and ML? Yeah, sure. So let me, yes. So as I explained here, so there are totally three types of machine learning types, which is reinforced, unsupervised, and supervised. So these are all the main important types, and each type are being used by an algorithm. So some of the algorithms are classification, regression. There are multiple techniques that are being used, which you can see here. So regression is one of the algorithm, classification is one of the algorithm, clustering is one of the algorithm, and dimensionality is one of the algorithm. So these are all the different types of algorithms that have been already programmed into that are already being programmed, or there is a library existing for it in the Python language, which you can use it. So if you require any resources about it, so I can surely share it to your ma'am. So ma'am can help you in providing it to it. So basically these are all the algorithms that are already defined, so which is already existing as the packages or the libraries in the Python language by default. So for your question, yes, regression, classification, dimensionality, and clustering are the algorithms. So upgrade yourself. So currently as I told, like we were lacking many support, or there is huge opportunity in creating machine language algorithms or machine uh, for programming or computational machines or robots. So if you have interest, there are multiple online courses that were available in the current time. Coursera, there is a site called Coursera, which they provide for very less minimal cost. Few courses are really cost effective, like some are really effective and some are really helpful for you. So I would recommend everyone to go through each and every document or some of the courses that are available. So the main language is Python, so try learning Python, try learning R, Java. So all these courses which will be really helpful for you in your future. So thank you guys, thank you for attending this session. So I hope you at least you have got some overview about what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, and finally what is deep learning. So this is the base for every artificially created robots. So if you understand these concepts clearly, if you go through these concepts clearly, for sure you'll be able to gain some more, you'll be able to work some more from this talk. So I think so that will help you in the near future as well.
Hello. Thank you, Thirukumaran. You have briefed
Yeah,
clearly
thank you, ma'am.
about the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning with good real-time example. Thanks a lot, Thirukumaran. Now over to Shanti Madam. Shanti Ma'am, few words from Shanti Ma'am. Hello. Shanti Ma'am. Any doubts from the participants? If you have any doubt, you please put it in the chat box.
Hello,
Hello, tell me, ma.
ma'am. அது அந்த chat box குள்ள போனா வர மாட்டேங்குது மேம். மெயில் அந்த லிங்கே வரல மேம்.
அது நான் உங்களுக்கு மெயில்ல அனுப்புறேன், நீங்க worry பண்ண வேண்டாம். If you have any doubt நீங்க கேட்கலாம் இப்போ.
ஓகே மேம்.
Thirukumaran? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Someone is asking function of neural network.
Okay, function of neural network. So I think if you understand what is neural network, so neural network is nothing but it is a process or combination of multiple features combined into one to create a result. So some of its functions are image recognition system, visual representation. So these are all some of the features. Like the main function is image recognition. So if you take an image and if you divide into pixels and create multiple pixels and derive the features from it, so that will be the main function of the neural network. So image recognition is the first and foremost function of neural network.
Any other doubts?
Yes. So the reason why image recognition is being key feature, so if you develop any image, like if you develop any robot, so it has to have an front end, which means a camera to identify what it is actually seeing it, right? So if it is able to view the image so that it can recognize and it can go along its paths. So as I have showed you an example of a robot that is present, so it is just a cleaning robot, or it is just a robot that just takes care of stock inventories, but its foremost work is it has to roam all over the supermarket, without providing any disturbance, to the customers who are entering into the shop. It has to be very clear in its path. So to be very clear in its path, it needs an image recognition, which means it needs a camera to view so what it is actually seeing. Okay, so if it is seeing an image, it has to recognize it what it is actually. So it should not go on dash on any person, or it should not go on dash on any of the equipments that is present around it. So that is the main reason image recognition plays a very vital role in the artificial intelligence. Hope that clarifies your question, Balaji.
Shanti ma'am, can you hear me? Hello? Shanti ma'am? I think she could not able to connect. Thank you, Thirukumaran. Thank you so much. I also thank all the participants. You eagerly and enthusiastically connected to the meeting. Thank you one and all. Now you can leave the meeting. Thank you very much.